Finland seems to have it all in control. In 3 consecutive years, 2018, 2019, and 2020, according to the United Nations Prestigious Index, the World Happiness Report had Finland as the happiest country in the world in all 6 areas of life satisfaction, which are GDP per capita, healthy life expectancy, freedom to life choices, social support, generosity, and absence of corruption. What is happiness, though? As the cold winter bites, it is time to see how the happiest people are doing during this period.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
What does happiness mean to you?
Kind of freedom.
Freedom, right?
Yeah.
Freedom, yeah.
And what about you?
Yeah, it's good to hear, and of course, when you hear that kind of things, it's happy to be a Finn. So that's like
Definitely,
great news. Yeah.
Are you from Helsinki?
Yeah, East Helsinki.
East Helsinki.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a city girl.
Yeah.
Are you born here though?
Yes, for sure.
Good. So my question is just regarding the Finland being the happiest country, 3rd time in a row. So 2018, 2019, and 2020. What does that mean to you?
I kind of feel proud, to be even in the top, but like 3rd time in a round, it's got to mean something.
Definitely, I can't agree, more. What does
Yeah.
it feel to be a Finn?
I feel proud. I have a grandmother who was born during the war, so I've been hearing a lot of stories about Finland, and I know about the history and stuff. And me myself, I have a lot immigrant friends who have moved here when they were kids, and they're grown to be like Finns, and they have adapted the culture and stuff. So it's nice to feel that other people feel comfortable here too. But yeah, I'm proud to be Finn.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
Do you also feel very happy during this winter time?
Yeah, for sure. You gotta put a ski mask on and ready to go. It's all about the mindset.
I like your attitude.
Yeah. That's how we cope here.
So what are those specific things in Finland that makes you think that, this is actually a country that you're proud of?
Well, every country has things that need improving, but me as a student, I like the fact that our schools are quite cheap, even free, we charge, and we have a good employment rates, pensions, and stuff like that. We take care of the elderly quite well. We have good health system, clean air, fresh air, clean water, nature, everything. So everything basically. Everything needs improving in some ways, but we have a good ground.
I've been hearing something regarding people this word stress. Some people are stressed and stuff. Have you any sort of comment on that?
On stress.
Yeah.
Of course I have stress, but when the country works quite well, you don't have to stress about the big things. If you have a roof on your head, if you have food on the table, someone is always somehow taking care of you. So you don't have to worry about the surviving here. You just have to worry about the small things, which is normal.
Why is it so certain that this is really the case here that people are that Finns are the happiest in the world?
Maybe it's about the sense of safety. Someone once said that, like, it's every time a tourist comes here, they feel safe. They don't have to worry about that thing. They know how the system works. I can walk home as a woman in the dark and I don't have to be afraid. There's things that I just don't have to worry about here that much. And for like all those things, like if you get out of a job or whatever, you don't have to go to the streets. It's all about
the
it.
biggest takeaway for you?
I think first of all I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
I think that's not like the vibe you get from Finnish people usually. They don't appear to be very, very happy. But then I think, kind of thinking it further, what I thought of is that kind of all of the key fundamentals of life are in quite a good place for the Finnish people. So starting from the education, healthcare, all of the like the welfare state stuff. So I think we don't have any major worries in our lives, and so I think that makes me understand also the results of that better, even though we don't usually show the happiness.
We couldn't stay outside to do this,
Yeah.
right? Because it's really cold.
Yeah, it is.
So how does people feel, around this time of the year when it's really cold? Are people still happy?
I think probably, and I think it's also research that summer does make people more happy. So of course, and I think probably November is one of the hottest months in the year. With it's cold and it's wet and it's very dark outside. So I think it's not the best season for people to be happy, but I think Finnish people are just so kind of used to it and hardened to the weather here. So that's we take what we get, and then we also find joy in the rare days when the weather is actually good.
Stress.
They are, but I think compared to many other Western countries, Finland is not that stressed because we don't have such a performance-oriented culture like the US or Japan or Germany or these kind of countries. So it's kind of relaxed in Finland. So I think this, of course, it isn't based on any research, but I don't think Finnish people are actually that stressed compared to many other Western.
Because now it's really cold,
And
we're trying to be brave now. Winter here also kind of impedes people's happiness.
definitely it can, and it probably is doing that. And there has been a bunch of surveys, questionnaires about whether the weather is affecting Finnish people and their mentality or whatever. And to my personal life and perspective, it also affects a little. I'm a more of a summer person myself. I like the sun, but still one thing that I love about Finland is that we have the 4 seasons. That is one thing I definitely see also as a one very good side of Finland, that we do have the different seasons and the varieties. But still, it's, of course, the summertime is shorter than in many other countries if you compare. But I think it also makes us value more, the summertime and the actual warm weather when we also have this, which is the totally opposite. And then we can do all sorts of different activities. And also even not during the COVID time, of course, now that most of the public saunas, for example, are closed. But before this, for example, many people actually meet up new people there, like in a public swimming halls. They go to saunas and, it's like a common place to go. I know some people think it might be weird that, we meet up people naked in like public saunas. But it's something that, you don't see it there because it's just people. You're together.
Actually, were you surprised when Finland ranked the happiest country in the world for 3 consecutive times?
Well,
Was that a surprise?
in a way, I don't know. Some ways now that I start thinking about it, no, it's not a surprise because I think we are having things good here. In like to think the whole country wise, we have the school system, we have the healthcare system, we are being taken care of. So basically, if you're doing not so good, for example, if you're unemployed for some reason, there are people who are actually trying to help you, and you can find help to that.
Happiness means different things to different people, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. And like overall in Finland,
Yeah.
people are, I think, well, at least I am happy. And like, I consider my friend circle and closest family circle to be happy. And I kind of want to also spread the happiness and like just joy. It's definitely depends on which person you ask. Because some things might, what you see, what makes you happy might not, for example, make me happy, or if you ask this from any person. For example, I asked my daughter today, my 4-year-old daughter, that what makes her happy, and she said that we have, for example, hoplops in Finland, like these kids' playgrounds, and also that she has his uncle here nearby. So it's definitely, those are the things that came up to her mind when I asked the question that what makes her happy about Finland or overall here in the country. And she said those things. And obviously to me, it's what makes her happy, for example. That's the one thing that makes me happy, that my kids and all my loved ones are happy. I'm definitely very proud to hear that Finland has been ranked 3 times in a row the happiest country in the world. And it definitely, obviously I agree on that matter because I'm happy in my whole life, like in my own life to say. And if my friends and my closest family are happy, then it makes me happy. But if I think of the whole, in Finland, what could be the things that, make us 3 times in a row the happiest country in the world. The first thing that comes to my mind is the education, because here in Finland, it's like the education is basically, available for anyone despite your income. So I think that is one very key factor here, that everybody can get a proper education. And then another one is the healthcare system, because here it's like you can get good healthcare, even though once again you don't have, that much money, for instance, that you can get like the aid and you will be helped if you will get some, for example, a very hard disease or some illness. And then another thing is this nature, as we are here outside, that it's very fresh air. And this winter has definitely, not today, this is probably not the best day to be filming, no, seriously, but it has treated us with a lot of snow this winter. And also summer times, even though they say it's very short, but still like summer is warm enough to me at least.
Wow.
I can say even my personal note that there are a lot of days in the winter time when it's like not sunny that I feel less energetic, but then again there is things that I can do myself to it. For example, exercise.
What do you think about, first of all, have you heard about the Finland ranking as the happiest country in the world?
Yes, next question. I've heard about it.
Good.
I'm not surprised. We always rank somewhere in the top 5 that I remember. But I think it's also quite subjective in a way that we're a very homogeneous society. And I was looking at the report yesterday, not in detail, but just like to confirm that we rank at the top. But I started thinking about like all the criteria and everything. Of course, if you compare us to some other countries in Central Europe or even in Africa, this society and like the Finnish society is very stable, and people, they are quite, I was just looking for the word to get it right. I think it's more like contentment or satisfaction of what we have, knowing, having the security and certainty that things will not be like a war zone tomorrow.
Yep.
But still, I think the happiness indicator is quite tricky in a way, because people can be depressed, they can feel miserable, but still, if you look at the statistics, like the requirements to reach that number one ranking, it's more like environmental than like psychological aspects of happiness that builds the happiness. So I do feel like people are very satisfied. They have a sense of security that relates into overall high score and happiness. But people themselves might feel, especially during 2020, not as like openly happy as people might expect. But looking at how we've handled the corona, the first wave, we were best of Europe. We didn't have to do such a drastic measures as other European countries. So I also felt like that boosted the sense of security and the trust in government. I think that is one very important thing of ranking high in the happiness index on the World Happiness Report, like trust of police, other authority, like figures and institutions. We do have that things. So I do feel it reflects more of the overall society, not as the people per se, in a way.
Actually, I mean, from what you just mentioned, right? You touched on the point of, obviously the one of the criteria that led to this outcome, which is the absence of corruption, which I think is a big deal. If you think about Africa, where I came from, specifically Nigeria, right? So the government there is obviously, almost like non-functional, and I know the weight of that in my life, even as much as I live here in Finland. What is going on there doesn't even make me happy, because I know that the government there cannot be trusted.
How I see this lack of trust in politics, often through my African friends, but not just, but mostly like my friend. I was talking about this just a couple days ago, and I asked him why don't you run for the municipal elections, because you have a lot of good ideas, you're very vocal, you get along with people so fine. He said, no, but I don't feel it's going to have any change there. I feel it's untrustworthy. It's all the same. It's all very just like money driven and corrupt. And then he said, like, of course, well, I don't know exactly how the Finnish system works, but the assumption is that it's always the same. So in that regard, looking at the report, I also think it's probably to do with this. People just like, it's a questionnaire they answer about how they feel, and we've been told this idea that everything is kind of like a polished image. Like I watched your talks yesterday. In one of them, it was a mention of how did it go? for example, this equality.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we believe that we are all
We're
equal,
equal.
but then if you aspire for that goal, you will see it in a different light. But then you start to point out small mishaps or problems there, and then you can actually notice that it might not be as equal or trustworthy or uncorrupt as we have been thought to believe.
So after spending considerable amount of time with Fins on this, I can clearly see why the UN report links happiness to life satisfaction and contentment. But how this translates to happiness is entirely subjective to individual, personal, or even societal perspective to that word, happiness. And I guess that is what it comes down to. Thank you for watching. I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment. Please subscribe, and thank you for engaging with me. Follow me on social media, as I love to connect with you all. It is WAKEup Concept. Again, thank you for the privilege of your time. Until next time, stay safe.